Happy Easter. Wow, that thing's loud, isn't it? This is God. It's really nice to it's always nice to be here with you guys. And of course, one of the reasons that I come here is, first of all, I'm close to each other, but we're close. We're about an hour away. I'm in Marion, and I was in seminary with Father Dave. And so I have a lot of great stories about Father Dave, as I always enjoy to tell them when I come here. In fact, the homily today is a story involving him, and a recent one at that. He's one of my best friends, so it's dangerous to ask your best friend to come and cover masses for you, even if you have surgery. I have no mercy. So now, a year ago, Father Dave someone had loaned him a house down south that he was able to go and to relax for a little while. It's a little bit after. A couple weeks after Easter, he invited me and another classmate of ours down to this house that someone had lent him. It was very generous of that person. And we were down there, and of course, you know, it's one of those friendships between the three of us. We go back now 12 years, and it was one of those things where even if we don't see each other for years at a time, we pick up right where we leave off, and all the same jokes are funny again, and we come up with new ones. And our third friend is a priest in West Virginia. And so we went down there, and you know, I had to wait a couple days. I was getting back from a Mexico trip. I spent Easter in Mexico last year, and where I blend right in, as I like to say, being a 6'3" pasty white guy. They have a lot of those kind of folks running around down there. So anyway, I got back with my deep red tan, and I was going to join them down in this house. So he and this other priest, Father Dave and this other priest, went down. And of course, they were supposed to buy the supplies, and because they had gotten there a couple days early. Now, when I got down there, I figured, you know, they would have gone shopping and gotten all the rudimentary necessities for survival. And of course, when I saw the 7 bags of Doritos, oh, we're not ton. The 4 bags, the four of those cans of Pringles. When I saw the Pop-Tarts. When I saw, folks, the closest thing to fruit we had was the Pop-Tarts in the house. That was the healthiest thing we had. You had to, I mean, that was what we had. It was all on the oven, and it was all piled up like this. And they had been there for a couple days before me, or maybe a day or two before me. And I got there, and I thought, well, if this is what we have to eat. And so you know, that stuff's not bad when you first start out. The first day, it's kind of fun. You know, it's like the day after Halloween. And then the 2 days after, as you're eating Pringles and you can't get the orange stains off of the tips of your fingers, and it's embedded under your fingernails no matter how hard you scrub, you start to get a little nauseous, but there's nothing else in the house, so we had to continue eating Pringles and Doritos and Pop-Tarts. And by the third day, you know, your bones get brittle and you can't get out of bed. And all you long for is a piece of lettuce or some celery. This is what he went and did for the shopping. Now, he and the other guy, I'm not going to entirely blame Father Dave. We were on vacation. So, you know, after the third day, my stomach started hurting. I said, guys, I need real food. We can't eat this stuff anymore. So we went out for chicken wings, which was the closest, best thing that we could find in this town that we were in. Of course, there was like Subway and salad places and grocery stores, but we went for chicken wings. It was actually like 3 steps above what we were eating the rest of the week. Now, before we went to the chicken wings, I said, guys, we got to stop off at the pharmacy. I got to get some Tums or something. My stomach is killing me from eating all this junk. And so we stopped off, and I think I ate a half a thing of Tums, and I was chugging the Pepto-Bismol. And I finally felt good enough to venture into the wings place, and we ate wings, and I ate 3,000 wings or something like that. It's my fault, too. I'm not blaming them. But I felt better after the antacid. You know, I felt better. It was soothing. It coated. It gave me what I needed to go in there and to face the chicken wings with my friends. Now, that's what I want you to think about. All that junk food represents sin. And you know what? Sin, at the beginning, kind of feels good, doesn't it? You know, sometimes it feels good. Sometimes it could be fun. And sometimes what sin is taking the good things of the earth and twisting them around and overdoing it a little bit. Maybe that's what it is. It's like eating too much junk food. If we do that all the time, if we live our lives eating nothing but junk food, it will take a very short amount of time for us to develop an ulcer and a stomach ache and heartburn. And that heartburn hurts as it comes up, and you can't eat anything else, even better food. You don't even want better food at that point. You just want to stop eating, and you just want to lay in bed, and you don't want to do anything. And you get desperate and alone and afraid. And I'm really talking about sin here, and this is exactly what sin does. Is it makes us sick, and it makes us ill, and it makes us not want to eat the good food when it comes our way. But this feast of Easter that we celebrate today, and this is the 8th day of Easter, is most appropriately named Divine Mercy Sunday, because Divine Mercy is what we celebrate. Divine Mercy is what happens when Jesus brings us our medicine. And it is not Pepto-Bismol, and it is not Tums, but it coats us with his blood, and it washes us with the waters of baptism. Those very two liquids that came out of the side of Jesus on the cross as he was pierced, the blood and the water, that covers us and redeems us and heals us. And not only that, but once we are redeemed and healed by baptism, then he gives us the good food in the Eucharist. And when you really understand the Eucharist, and we spend our entire lives trying to figure out exactly what that means, we understand that there is no junk food, that there is no sin that could even come close to satisfying our hunger the way that the Eucharist does. And Lord knows I have tried all sorts of junk food, as have maybe many of you, and none of it satisfies. It simply makes us weak and ill and incapable of eating the good food when it comes our way. See, this is how we have been redeemed. We have been redeemed by the death and the resurrection of Jesus Christ. And we are a people that live in the light of the resurrection. I was driving by one of those church signs, I don't remember when I was doing this, a few weeks ago. And it said, "We are an Easter people living in a Good Friday world." I'll say that one more time. I thought it was profound. It took me 25 minutes to copy that down. I kept having to drive by every single time. We are an Easter people living in a Good Friday world. And the mercy that Jesus sheds upon us, he covers us with, he coats us with, is nothing that we have to pay for. It has no cost except for his own life. And we reap the benefits of that redemption in the resurrection. And we are a resurrection people. And we are a people that have been forgiven and redeemed. And here's what happens next, is as we have been forgiven, as we have been redeemed, we go out and we forgive. We go out and forgive the people that have hurt us. We go out and we show mercy to the people who have not forgiven themselves. We go out and we be Christ as we have heard his gospel, as we have been washed in the waters of baptism, as we have received his body and his blood and his soul and his divinity. So we go forth to forgive and to love and to be Christ in the world. Now here's the thing, is that Jesus in his resurrected form still has the wounds in his hands. And Thomas puts himself into those wounds. And that is where we are called to put ourselves, is into the wounds of Christ. We put our woundedness and our sickness and our sinfulness into the redeemed wounds of Christ, where they are safe and healed and redeemed. And what's amazing to me is that the resurrected Jesus still has his wounds. What that means in your lives is that Jesus, when he forgives you, does not take away your woundedness. But as he does in the gospel, he will use your woundedness as he used his, to bring the greater glory of the kingdom of God to those who need it the most. Because as his wounds were redeemed in God's mercy of the resurrection, so are ours when we place them into the redeemed wounds